So yeah, welcome back again, Data Bio. I don't know if this will bore you or not, but I always try to rack my brain to stay consistent in providing discussions, especially about the development of each character in the Boruto manga. Maybe some of you think this is nonsense without any proof, and I wouldn't blame you for that because it's true. Every analysis of character development and even speculation about what might happen in the next chapter can't claim to be definite. Here, we'll only discuss interesting points until the leaks for the next chapter are released. And of course, if we're talking about Jippo's abilities, it's still quite intriguing, isn't it? Especially since this is about fate and the future. Previously, we discussed, and I'm sure many of you agree, that the shinjutsu Koji possesses is similar to the shinjutsu ability owned by Momoshiki. That is, an ability that can see the future of everyone, even their entire life. It turns out that this ability to see the future isn't an achievement limited to Byakugan users. Anyone has the potential to gain such power if they can access Otsutsuki power. The members of CHAKRA are creations of Amado and are equipped with Otsutsuki DNA, so it makes sense that they could awaken Shinjutsu abilities in the future. We all believe that Koji's Shinjutsu must have weaknesses, but what are they and who will reveal these weaknesses? Could it be Koji himself, or does Momoshiki actually already know? Before discussing the weaknesses of Koji's jutsu, let's first examine an anomaly that occurred in Chapter 13. This anomaly is related to Kashin Koji's Jippo ability. In his vision of the future, Kashin Koji only sees Shinju as the final threat that will destroy planet Earth. This means that Kashin Koji doesn't consider Momoshiki a serious threat to the Earth. Why does Kashin Koji not see Momoshiki as a threat? Some might think that Koji can't see into the distant future, meaning that there is a limit to what that ability can't reach. And of course, that's why he doesn't see Boruto being possessed by Momoshiki. If Koji can't see into the distant future, then why can he see all the events that will eventually end with planet Earth being eaten by Shinju? And in Chapter 13 too, Koji says that the worst that could happen in the future is that the Jubi will evolve into something new. They will appear before us as some divine tree people with a will of their own. This can be avoided if we can handle Jubi at the root of the problem before it arises, but this is a low probability. The divine tree people always appeared in almost all the futures he saw, and the most dangerous is their leader, a man named Jura. And the threat of his evolution as a Biju is Boruto's life. He will die killed by him. Not everything I saw was like that, but many futures ended like that. The developments afterward are more or less the same. In the end, Kawaki will be consumed and the planet will be obliterated. Well, with Koji's statement, what can we conclude? It's all like Koji has known the final fate of planet Earth since the beginning. That is, Koji has seen what will happen to Boruto and Momoshiki while the Earth is heading into its final fate. And besides that, it also means that Koji knows that even if Momoshiki controls Boruto's body, the Earth will eventually be devoured by Shinju. That means there is a possibility that in the future, Shinju could grow because of Momoshiki, but the possibility of this happening is very low. That's why Koji didn't discuss this with Boruto. It seems like Koji already knows that Boruto has decided not to use his karma anymore. Koji must have seen the future where Momoshiki had controlled Boruto's body when the code attacked Boruto and Sasuke. Koji should have made it clear to Boruto that Boruto's choice was right. Boruto must not use the power of karma if he does not want to be controlled by Momoshiki again. Since Boruto has decided that way, it means that Koji doesn't have to worry about Momoshiki taking control of Boruto's body. Although one day Boruto could be exposed to resonance with Kawaki's karma, Boruto could choose to stay away from Kawaki so that Momoshiki would not be able to control Boruto's body. Then, is it forever that Momoshiki will not be able to control Boruto's body anymore? But certainly, sooner or later Momoshiki will return. And now, maybe just waiting for the right time. Because basically, Koji also said that the worst future should not be realized. There are many factors that can determine the future. Even when Boruto knows something is happening in the future, and even when he knows this fact, the future changes its route every second. If Momoshiki wants to control Boruto's body completely, Momoshiki must wait for that factor to appear. The factor where Boruto will really fall. But speaking of Boruto's fall, this is still a question mark. What will make Boruto like that? Will Boruto feel a sense of desperation if one of the most important people to him is gone or even something unwanted happens to Himawari? Because after all, Naruto and Hinata didn't really die. They were just safely sealed by Kawaki. This means that Boruto doesn't have to worry about the state of his father and mother. This is why Boruto is not really down until now. He still thinks his father and mother are fine, especially now that he also sees Himawari is fine in Konoha. Well, what if a factor arises where Boruto's younger sister dies or is eaten by Shinju? But to claim that this will happen is of course nonsense, but the point is not Himawari's death, but rather a situation where Boruto sees his sister really in big trouble. And on the other hand, try to see when Boruto fights with Code. Boruto finally decided to use the power of karma until he felt a feeling that really felt like his body was dying due to Momoshiki possessing him. And of course, what made him use karma at that time? And of course it must be because he didn't want Sasuke to die at the hands of Code. Seeing the person he cares about, Boruto will not just surrender. And most likely that is the factor that Momoshiki is waiting for, a sense of desperation. But if you don't understand what I mean, and how can Boruto use karma when he and Sasuke fight against Code, when in fact he doesn't use that karma at all? That's right, if you look at a scene in chapter 5, there is no scene where Boruto uses karma. But in chapter 14, Boruto himself tells us that in the previous 2 years when he and Sasuke fought the Code, he used his karma and at that moment Momoshiki possessed him. So in the end, we can only wait until Boruto really slumps and feels desperate. Because so far, whatever fate and suffering he has experienced, Boruto has not shown a feeling that makes him desperate at all. He seems to believe and be able to bear all this burden, which in the end, Momoshiki himself became desperate. All the provocations that Momoshiki did to Boruto really seemed like a waste. Boruto's heart and soul are like Uzumaki's blood that doesn't know what despair is. But if one day Boruto will experience a bad event until he really despairs of seeing friends, or even family on the verge of death or down, maybe that's when Boruto forgets everything and becomes out of control. Maybe we can assume like Naruto, when he sees the most important person in his life is really almost dead, dying, or whatever it is that makes the trigger, where he is really frustrated so that he cannot control himself until in the end his body is dominated by anger. And that means Boruto could also be experiencing the same feelings as Naruto, right? Although I don't know how this will happen, but I strongly believe that the triggers are his friends and younger sister. So what do you think, guys? Thanks for those of you who have liked and subs. I'm Nim. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye, Data Bio.